You're back.
Yeah, you were frozen in meditation and stillness.
I was just, yeah, enjoying
Yeah,
the
that's what it looked like. Yeah.
beingness.
So where
You were
did we
saying something
fall off?
about prior to self-realization that there's identity with when we're looking at others, and what Christian Murray was saying about, we see the image of the other. It's like a reflection of what we are, or what we're believing, or something along that.
Yeah,
That we see in others. But now after
yeah,
self-realization, there's the that kind of falls away because you're not really identified with the mind and the thoughts as your identity of what you are. So it's almost, now that kind of drops away. So now you're just connected in unity consciousness or in beingness together.
yes. And at the same time, recognizing where other people are probably acting because of their own self-image in
Yes.
ways that, you know, you don't want to judge people, of course, but
Hmm.
I think it's more around understanding and coming from a place of compassion for people to say, this guy cut me off in traffic. He's probably just, he's probably just having a rough day and, you know, he's, he's got lots of things going on in his head and, you know,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
what I
know. I
think.
think it changes the way you interpret things that are coming out of other people, I guess.
Yeah, I love what you said there because, we think about different, prior to self-realization, we've been through that where we've maybe cut somebody off in traffic, or somebody cut us off, and we know how we reacted then. And so now when it happens, we know why we did, because we were just so identified, with that identity
Yeah.
that we had. And so, we were just acting out as we didn't know any better, we didn't know what we truly are. So that image of yourself was being reflected in the other person. You were just acting
Yeah,
out like
exactly.
like anyone would. They don't know any better. They just weren't aware. But now that you're aware and somebody cuts you off, it's like you have compassion because you're like, oh well, they're just they're just identified with that story of what they are. They don't really know what they are. So that's where the compassion comes from. It's like, I was there too, so I
Yeah.
can welcome that in and integrate that into the beingness, and then it becomes more relaxed and peaceful. There's not really a big deal. Like your reaction is like, okay, it's like, it's
Yeah,
not like
yeah,
before
yeah.
it was like, rah, getting
Yeah,
all
yeah.
emotional and all that with it. It's a different vibe or a different reaction to it when you can see through it, when you know what you are, and you know what's going on, and you've been there before, and so you have compassion. So that's why I really like all the stuff that even this leads up to self-realization. We forget what we truly are, and then we go through all these different life experiences. But then on the other side of it, we're trying to help other people, so to speak, I guess. Um, we can relate to them, and so we can have compassion, and then we're integrating that into our true self.
Yeah. I like to think of compassion as something that really exists because of suffering.
Mm.
Um, it's something that, I don't know, say unique to human experience, but it's part of human experience, right? Because we experience suffering, and that's where you want to come at. That's where you see, other beings um, either suffering physically or trapped in their own suffering mentally. Um, it's sort of that love that comes out of the sort of the baseline love of being that's translated into something specific about or that has to do with the rest of humanity, Because if there's no suffering, there'd be no reason for compassion, right? Like we'd
Yeah,
all
we
just
would
be loving each other
we
and it
just
would be
be
fine.
loving and being right now, right? Yeah, I think about myself. I don't know if you've had listened to any of the videos on my YouTube channel, but I talk about
Hmm.
when I was 18 or 19, I had Hodgkin's disease, which was a form of cancer that the doctors diagnosed this body with.
Mm.
And yeah, I mean, I could see the mental suffering that you're talking about, with the identity. Ooh, cancer, you're gonna die. And if you just thought you're your body, right? It could be fearful and scary, as an 18, 19-year-old kid, Um, and then there's the other side of it, the physical part, how the body hurts and, it's aching and the sensation, the mind would say it's a bad thing or it's you're going to die, like the mental part and then the physical part. You feel that as well. But really, when you're feeling now that I'm looking back, when you feel the physical part, it's more like sensations, that are happening in you in the space of beingness. But so it's almost like compassion can come now, like looking at Rob, the teenage kid who went through it. I have compassion for him, seeing him go through that, because he was just identified, with his body and he was believing everything the mind said. He thought he was the mind. He thought he was the thoughts. And so it was a fearful time. It was a scary time. And so I have compassion for people who are suffering from an illness or whatever they're suffering or whatever the mind's saying to them. So having gone through that myself, um, gone through that experience, now when I see people with that, I can look at them in compassion. And at the same time, I could hold them in that space of knowing, what they truly are. Like, I really know what you truly are. You are whole. You are complete. I see you as healthy, you know. And when I see that, like I hold them in that space, I see them that way. It's almost like a feeling like, they're well, they're getting well. I see them as well. And so then that kind of becomes the reality in my consciousness is seeing them as that. So then I can only see people as well, even though they'll tell me the story or they're telling themselves the story. But the truth is, they are whole, they are complete. What they truly are is the beingness, the impersonal beingness is what their true nature is underneath the stories and the identities that they're identifying with.
Do you think that sort of having that knowledge, or I guess would say having your, being aware of your own nature
Hmm.
and seeing the natural responses that come up around, fear of losing someone else or suffering that happens in your own mind when you see someone else suffering.
Hmm.
Is that sort of less of an obstacle for acting in compassion?
Hmm.
Because a lot of times, if you're, you know, so you have an ailing family member, right, and if you're identified with sort of your connection to that person, and you're suffering alongside of them, um, it can be a very difficult time, right?
Hmm. Yes.
And sort of being free of that identification sort of gives you a little bit more freedom and a little bit more leeway to act out of compassion, a little more um, energy, I guess, to do to do what you want to do in terms of being there for that person and not needing to, you know, if you're psychologically secure, you can be there for that other person. Even if you're, deep down you're feeling, you know, grief and everything, you can sort of see those things as emotions and they don't get in the way of caring for someone else.
I love that you said that because I think about when I was going through the cancer and the family members around me, like some of them couldn't deal with it. They weren't able to be there for me. But then there was my grandmother. Um, I don't know. Maybe she knew what she was, but for her, it was all she showed was like compassion and love. I actually moved in with her. She took care of me with love. It was just always just love and compassion. It wasn't even like when she was like, disturbed. Even when she would see me come home from the chemo, I'd be sick and everything. She never was like, I never saw the fear in her or the panic. It was always like, just like looking at me with love. You're gonna be okay, honey. I'm here. Like she was there for me, like having that, being there for someone So recently I had a family member that was in the hospital. Um, and all I could think about was my grandmother, like when I was going through that time. And it wasn't about oh my goodness, my close family member, they could possibly die from this. And previously, it would be like that because you don't know any better. You're not aware of what you truly are and what they truly are. So then in that moment, you're right. You're not giving all that energy to your own beliefs and your own thoughts of limitation and all about you. It's not. At that point, it's just like, I'm the space, for this, what's happening here. I can be the loving space and compassion and hold the loving space for that person and look at them and see them. And almost like energetically, they can probably feel it. I don't know. Like because they sense the calmness. I remember being next to them in the hospital bed, and they just kind of looked up at me, and you just look them in the eyes, and you feel that connection of oneness or beingness. It's like I can see the consciousness behind it, and it's almost like I'm looking at the consciousness. Like, I know you're healthy. I know you're okay. I know you're just believing. You're lost in that belief, that thought of that you're separate or that you're suffering or whatever it is, and it's okay. It's gonna be okay. You're here in this space, and it's almost like behind the face. You could see the okayness of the beingness, the smile, the love of it, and so then you could just see how the field just shifts because they'd be like, you know, Dad, can you pet my head? Like, can you feel my head? Like, then you like start rubbing their head, and you can just see the peace and calmness, just like almost like you can see the body just like
Yeah.
relax, and then you can see the healing just happen through that, and then they recover through it's almost like it's like embodied, like what I mean, it's not like we could talk a lot on the mental body, but it really happens. I notice the shifts happen with people is when they realize what they truly are. It actually, you can see it embodied in the body. You see the body relaxing, you know, like the nervous system almost
Mhm.
feels safe now to let go. Like,
It does.
presence is here with you, healing or being with you, whatever you want to say. There's that reconnection, I guess, with life, and that's where the healing happens, or whatever you want to call it. That feeling of compassion and love, which is the perfect bond.
Yeah. I I resonate with that. I resonate with that. Um, I think it's interesting to even take a step back from that and say, what's going on there
Mhm.
in the grand scheme of things? We have these two beings, same being, different forms, connecting and helping to, resolve suffering. Like, what is the great awareness, the great being actually, what is happening there? Like why does that happen? Why does the universe seem to want to bend itself to make that happen,
Mm.
to bring two people together?
It's like
I don't
clarity.
know. I don't know if that's answerable.
Yeah, it's like clarity recognizing itself or something.
Yeah. So but that's a phenomena of just the greater being. What does that mean about it? Like what? I don't know.
Sometimes it's
It's
okay
like
when,
it's like there's something bigger going on?
yeah, and it's getting comfortable with like the unknown, almost like it's okay, like not to know, like
Yeah, yeah.
it's cool because everything's fine, like anyway. So I know the
Yeah,
mind
I know.
the mind likes to come in, yeah, and it's like it wants to analyze. Well, that's just doing its job, right? It's just analyzing, comparing, but it's okay not to know because it's all always been taken care of and always will be. Almost like there's like that effortless knowing of it, and like whatever's happens in the moment is like delivered to you effortlessly, you know,
Yeah.
not having to even try to work it out in the mind or the striving or the effort or the plan, or it's just kind of like whatever you need happens it appears right there. It's like that trust or that effortless knowing that's always been there, and it's just like that infinite intelligence just coming through and taking care of it. When you know that, you kind of feel relaxed. It's just kind of like there's like that ease of being of it. It's like, yeah, whatever's happening, it's all okay. It's all going to work out fine, because of that knowingness, I would say, that effortless knowing.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, sometimes questions that you can't know the answer to
Hmm.
it's not a problem. It's just they can be fascinating. They can
Yeah.
point to something. They can point to something eternal and profound that's, you
Mhm.
know, bigger than just the mind, right?
Yes. It's almost like it's like an expansion, like you feel expanded sometimes when yeah, like the suffering and stuff like that. You can see the expansion behind it's almost like pointing to something
Yeah.
bigger that's here, that's beyond the mind or beyond the stories.
So yeah, and I guess from there, sort of, why do you think we are drawn to communicate with each other? It's two entities in this world.
Yeah. I don't know if something here wants to express. It's almost like it's like moving through you or something. Something's moving through. It's like I'm resting here as effortless being as whole, complete. Everything's cool. And then it's almost like inspiration will come through and it just moves through the body and wants to speak, wants to communicate. And there's like a feeling of joy in doing it actually. Like, I don't know, I don't know, this feels good. Like, is this like a sense of purpose almost, or something wants to communicate, something like wants to come through, and it's like you can't help but just do it. Like I just find myself logging on the Zoom call, getting on with I'm like, I don't know. I was just like sitting there and just relaxing and something's prompts like, well, let's get let's like whatever. It's almost like a like I've opened myself up to be like we did with this call, like just an open invitation
Yeah.
to to my being, to my consciousness. And then whatever wants to come through. And then I just respond to whatever wants to come. It's not like almost like I'm out like hunting it. It's just like I'm just saying, hey, I'm available, I'm open. And then just seeing what comes up and then just meeting it, wherever it is, and then whatever wants to come through to express, it expresses and it feels good to express.
Feels good to, you've created an entire, sort of platform for dialogue.
Mhm.
Um, so that's, I mean, when I look at, what you've created on YouTube, it's, that's fulfilling that sort of urge to communicate, right? And the
Mhm.
same reason why I reached out to you is, I felt that, you know, sort of desire to communicate. I don't know, desire is something, but
Yeah.
um, it feels like you're saying it feels like it's moving through you, right?
Moving through you, yes. It's like you can't help but just move that way
Yeah,
or something, or like a resonance, like a pull, almost like a pull, like I'm relaxing here, but then there's like a pull or something to do the video, to respond to the email, to open the invitation or something.
yeah. And I find that interesting. Find it potentially, we talk about, I'm sort of a believer that, we have scientific examples for things. It doesn't actually, or scientific explanations for things. It doesn't actually mean that it's not, connected to a greater spiritual or non-knowable um, reality. So, we talk about humans as like social beings,
Hmm.
but at the same time, you can also see it as, if we're not actually separate beings, you know, there's just sort of this emerging phenomena of, you know, different sentient beings coming together to, to communicate means to make common, right? To
Love
to
that.
to to have a common mind and a common experience. And we already are all common, but it's sort of coming back on itself again,
Hmm.
right? If you
Hmm.
think of everything as just phenomena, right? In the great awareness, it's
It's true.
being pulled together almost, or there's a pulling together somehow.
Yeah, it's like you're feeling the pull to come together as one, you know, seeing yourself as one and others like mirrors almost, reflections.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. We have mirror neurons that sort of almost you could think of as like psychic powers, right?
Yeah.
You reflect, see, you reflect what you hear and the energy that other people are giving off. And like, where does that come from? That phenomena exists in the great awareness.
Almost like it is like
It's
an
amazing.
intuition or something. Like it is this intuition, this effortless knowing, this knowingness that's just playing, that's coming through effortlessly,
Yeah.
you know, this infinite intelligence orchestrating everything.
Yeah, I think the concept of intelligence or a greater intelligence is really interesting. I think if you think about the phenomena of communication as from the perspective of a greater being, I think that's got something to do with intelligence. And I haven't, I don't know how that works quite yet, but um, it just seems like there's something there that's happening. It's
Feel that.
feels very profound.
Feels what?
Feels very profound.
Profound, yes. The humbling almost.
So along those lines, um, how do we, sort of wanted to also sort of talk about a little more practical stuff
Sure.
in regards to communication. So, and this is, questions for you, I guess, but because you've done a lot more of this than I have, but how do you communicate to others about self-realization, just in the general topic? If you're not, not trying to explain your own experience necessarily, but just sort of talk to someone else who may not have any sort of, he's never even heard of it. He doesn't even know what the ego even is. They're just
Yeah.
going about their daily lives. Um, where
Well,
do you start with that?
yeah, well, it's usually how it happens for me. Like I can think about yesterday when I was in yoga class after yoga. I was talking to this girl and she was like, "Hey, so what do you do?" I just said, "Oh, I'm a mirror for people. Not the kind with the glass, but the kind that reflects that you're already free." And then she was like, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh, I just like these miracles. You know how like people, they get to see themselves, what they truly are, beyond the story and stuff like that. And then we just kind of like, she was intrigued. Then we got in this, interesting discussion. Then, of course, we would talk about, yeah, like a lot of people, there's this thing called awakening. I'm sure you probably heard of like Eckhart Tolle, and a lot of people can relate. Like if you use like common things like that are already out in mass consciousness right now, like Eckhart Tolle, Rupert Spira, Muji, like these different ones that are in the human consciousness right now, that people know, or even awakening. A lot of people can relate to that, and that can kind of be the bridge to talking about, self-realization to someone. But I've noticed too, like when you're speaking to them, if you're looking at them, as the infinite being, and then you kind of just slow down your speech and you kind of pause a lot. And it's almost like the silence is doing all the heavy lifting, the speaking. It's almost like beyond like the words. It's like the energetics or the silence, you know, seeing itself or can reveal itself to its like conscious, yeah, like consciousness revealing itself to itself, through the silence or something, or and then just seeing them as whole and complete and seeing them as the infinite being and just using those what's already out there in mass consciousness, gets people to be relatable. And then it's like the silence between it and then just the direct pointing, to what they are in such a, and you have like that inner conviction, like, that's what it is. So it's just like you're coming across like, with that inner confidence and they see it in themselves because like it's like you're a reflection to them, like a mirror. They can see what they are when you're holding the space of what they
Mhm.
truly are as the infinite being.
Interesting. So there may be, there's verbal communication,
Mhm.
there's, communication through your body language, but also letting the silence sort of give them space to absorb and
Yes.
to start
Re- reflect.
circulating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
You
I
can
noticed that, I find that a lot of, when you hear Eckhart Tolle speaking or
love
Krishnamurti
that.
speaking, there's like that space
Mhm.
and just allowing for the mind to start percolating, you
Yes.
know,
The mind
on an
starts
unconscious
slowing
level,
down. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
then
yeah.
the silence, it's like, and then once it slows down to the point where it drops, there's your true nature right there, like shining in plain sight. The silence is the unity is what you are.
Right there.
Yeah. The separation only comes in with the identities when we start identifying with the thoughts and our stories and stuff. But previous to that, when it all drops, it's almost like a subtraction. You're subtracting all that. Then what's left is your true
Yeah,
nature.
yeah. Yeah, and you realize there was no you that was diluted at all. It was just
Yeah. The
it
story.
was just delusion in general. That's all it, that's all it is.
It is a big delusion, right?
Yeah. But
And
there's
that's
no
why
one
people
there.
laugh. It becomes funny because it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I was believing a story. Well, that's okay if you want to. I mean, you can play in the world of duality if you want. It's almost like almost
Yeah.
like living as a human being. It's almost like you need that duality to play. But as long as you know that it's just playing, it's like acting or something. But you know what you truly are, then it becomes more lighthearted, like and more fun and more loving and compassionate. You're not thinking that that's all it is. I believe the story and this is it. I don't realize the expansiveness that's right here that it's playing in. Your true nature, what you truly are, becomes more playful and more lighthearted, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. It's like who's actually believing the story? There's no one
That's a
believing the
great
story.
question to ask people when you're having dialogue with them. Like, who is it that's actually believing it? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, can you find it? And then have them look in their direct experience. Direct experience. I've noticed that with people. I kind of redirect them right back to their direct experience so they can see it for themselves. That's going to really where the realization comes is when they see it for themselves. Not so much
Mhm.
what's being said. It's just getting them to look and see it for themselves. Like they can't find it. You look, you're like, oh yeah, actually,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
there. Just a thought, really. And you're like, oh, it's just a thought. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
just thoughts about thoughts, and then it becomes more playful. You can play with it if you want.
So then in your experience, how do you, when you find it's appropriate, how do you start to broach the story of your own, journey towards awakening?
Kind of like what opens up, like you and I on this call. Like we started talking about compassion, and then flashing up. It just flashes up. Oh, and I just flashed up compassion, and then automatically thought, oh, when I had the experience of having cancer, that it just then that just went right to that, and then compassion, normally came out of that experience of having cancer. So it just depends. It's really almost like something triggers it, like the based on what the person's saying. It's like there's an effortless knowing that just comes up and speaks through, you know, when Rob's out of the way and just is in the unknown and just relaxing. and trusting, and then it just happens effortlessly. It's kind of like it's always been doing that. It's just that Rob used to think he was the one doing it all, but he wasn't. It was a delusion that I thought I was actually the one doing it. It was always effortless being or infinite intelligence doing it because there's really no, I don't see a separate doer here doing it. I just see it's like it's coming through and effortless beings doing it or infinite intelligence is doing whatever is happening.
How does that usually play out? Do you find people receptive? Do they get confused? Do they just are they dismissive or how does that?
It's almost like by the time they get to me, it's almost like infinite intelligence is like like if they screen them all before they actually get here. It's like when they get here, it's like they're ready to hear it. Like I don't have to do anything. I just make put the invitation out, and then it's almost like it feels like it's happening through resonance, like people are resonating with something, you know, in the message, and then they contact me, and then they're just ready to hear whatever, you know, to hear that they are whole and complete and that they are the infinite being and they are self-realized. And by the time they get here, it's like just almost like reconfirming that to the person, um, that they are the infinite being, that they are whole and complete. And usually that's enough for people just to hear that by the time they get here, whatever journeys they've been on, when they usually get to this, in front in my space, in my consciousness, in this space, that's usually what happens. I've noticed. There's been some coming too that as of late I've noticed. Last couple of people I've been working with, they've been wanting to express this, and they went on to make their own YouTube channels or write books and stuff like that because they felt like they wanted to express this. But it's almost like just providing some guidance and and encouragement for people when they come to me with that the confirmation or the permission slip for them that they can go and do that's what infinite being wants. They wants to express, so go ahead and express, tell it to the world, do a YouTube channel, write a book, I don't know, or art, music, whatever ways that consciousness wants to play
Yeah.
or
The
express.
the idea of like self-awakening, certainly like a very old one, right? Um, I believe, even before the Buddha, there was, you know, conception of it. I think
Mhm.
he put a lot of work into, you know, trying to put together, as much of a plan as you can and create something that would be like long lasting. Do you think that, I think you're a little more exposed to the community, the wider world of this. Do you think that there's, like you said before, that there's more and more people now? Do you think that this is heading somewhere where there's a critical mass?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen mass consciousness. People are awakening. It used to be they'd have to go like to an ashram or they go to India or you know, could be in a cave or something. Now I've noticed with mass consciousness, you could just read something in a book. You're the infinite being, have a human experience, and have a instantaneous, awakening. So I've noticed with mass conscious, like it's almost like the morphogenic field. There's been studies on this too, where it's like this one field, and we are the one field of consciousness, and consciousness is the cause. And so as more and more people awaken in the one consciousness that we are, it's becoming more and more easy to wake up and accessible. It could be just a matter of reading a line in a book or listening. People are waking up just listening to these videos. They'll be people that just awaken to the true nature just by hearing you and I talk right now on this video. That's how um, mass consciousness is. Yeah, so I would say there's a bigger awakening now. It's more becoming more instantaneous and definitely larger in the morphogenic field, which is makes it easier for people to wake up. The more and more that wake up. It's like consciousness waking itself up, like on a global scale.
Yeah, yeah. Seems exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. It's cool to be in the part of it or whatever. Like you just,
Yeah.
seeing it happen and, just making yourself available. That's what I would say to the mass consciousness out there is, if you feel the pull, make yourself available. I mean, and technology today is a lot easier now. You mean you can do books, you can do a YouTube channel, you can do there's all kinds of social media platforms, or sometimes it can just be just like in your daily life, going to the yoga studio and people asking what you do and being able to talk, or being in the grocery store in the grocery line, just being pleasant with people and taking interest in people, and then the dialogue just opens up as we were talking earlier.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I think I feel pulled to find find a local sort of community of people
Okay.
maybe and share a dialogue with them and you know see what arises when a group of us get together. If I can find that group, that'd be great.
I
There
know,
should be a
yeah.
few people around, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, trying to think how you would go about organizing that. I mean, I would just do it like grassroots, just, start talking about it. Hey, would you be interested in talking about awakening? Or,
Yeah,
that's kind of like why I like the YouTube, like even like just like I was telling you earlier, just sometimes just expressing it and, talking into your phone with it, even if you're not posting it, it gets you like, it's almost like when you're in that momentum of it. It's almost like consciousness will start revealing ways to you. So it's like you don't have to figure it out. But when you're in the flow of expressing it daily, then it's almost like they come to you. Like the opportunities will come to you effortlessly. It's like you don't have to go out and plan it, or you'll just follow whatever the next easy thing that arises, and your intuition will motivate you to do it. But I would just say be in the flow of it every day and staying open to whatever consciousness wants to arise or come through. It'll do
yeah.
it.
I think I have some ideas.
See that? Look, it's happening already.
Yeah,
That's great.
intuition is something that I think is it's kind of new for me. You know,
Yeah.
um, when I've always been a pretty anxious being, and
Mhm.
when you're anxious, you do a lot of planning and a lot of
So much different, right?
yeah, a lot of planning for the apocalypse and trying to manage every single encounter you might have throughout the day and um, yeah, so just feeling more relaxed, like I don't need to control anything.
No.
It,
Mm-mm.
it means I can let those choices and decisions just sort of happen. There's no one making them. It's just sort of
Yeah.
happening.
It just happened. And you
Okay.
don't have to save the world, right? It's not for you to save the
Yeah.
world. You're just making yourself available, and whatever consciousness wants to come through, it'll fall into your lap, so to speak. It'll just effortlessly be brought to you. And you'll probably start seeing that now. Usually what happens after people meet, um, synchronicities, and people start coming to them, and then you stay open to that, and then you'll find yourself expressing. It's almost like infinite intelligence will bring them to you, and you'll have the right words and the right knowingness what to do in that particular moment. So that's why I said to you when you first called, by the time you get here, I already know that you're being called to express this in some way.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let it happen. We'll see. I'm not gonna make
So
I'm
it's
not gonna
already
make too many
happening.
big plans, but yeah, it's already
It's
happening.
already happening. Like just the fact that you're on this call with me, you're already expressing it. And there will be people that wake up just from hearing you on this call. So it's already happening.
That would be cool. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
that's what happens. I have many people email me after a lot of these videos and stuff that, that does happen. So
Yeah, there's been I've looking at your channel history. There's been a lot of really great conversations.
Yeah, it's
I've
amazing.
enjoyed.
Like, and there's nothing I could even plan. All that stuff just like effortlessly just came. There's no way I could have planned any of that. Like, it just, like you said, just staying this open, put the invitation out there, putting yourself out there, having the open invitation, and then letting consciousness bring them to you effortlessly, and then just feeling your way to the next thing. Next thing you know, synchronicities happen, connections happen, people start contacting you, and you know, and then the next thing you know, you're doing interviews and like people calling you for any like all kinds of stuff happens. Then people that are waking up, and and you write books with people, you know, you do mirror calls with people, like Zoom calls, and then just even in your everyday life, just being open, and then just being authentic and just expressing. Like, somebody asks you what you do, it's like, this is what I do. Like, this is what I am. And like you talk like
Yeah,
matter of fact, and they
yeah.
look at you like, what? It was like, yeah, that's the way it is. And they're like, what? And then it like wakes consciousness up. They're like, when you meet that presence of someone that knows what they are, it's like they wake up too, you know, just in your inner knowing, your conviction of this is what it is. Like, what do you mean? Like, I know what you are. And that when you see when somebody's never been seen like that before, nobody's seen below the story. It really is one of the rarest experiences on earth, is when somebody's being seen or held, as to what they truly are. That's someone that can see beneath the story, beneath the identities. And when a person, the best thing for me is when a person realizes that and sees it, and you can feel the joy that comes from that.
The peace.
Yeah, there it is. Perfect. See, you already know.
Yeah, the whole and the excitement of kind of feeling that the whole world is kind of opened up to you a little bit.
Oh,
And
love
you've gone from this tight muscle to just
just like
be able to see,
the
Yeah.
big picture, yeah. The open expansiveness of everything. I guess why I like going to nature too. It's just even looking up at the night skies, feeling the expansiveness of everything,
Yeah, yeah.
the openness,
I was thinking
everything's.
that last night, just looking at the stars up here,
No, it's awesome, right? Even the little
It's
things are just magnificent sometimes.
yeah.
Looking at a flower or a tree, it's just like, whoa, this is pretty cool, When you don't have all that mind
Yeah,
chatter, you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
you're just here, you're present, you're like, wow. Like a lot of times you've missed it all because you've been so
Yeah.
caught up in the mind and the thought. It's like when all that just settles and you're here. It's like, wow, it's pretty cool. You know?
The ordinary becomes extraordinary, right?
There it is. Perfect. Yeah. There was one girl in my was doing a panel interview, and I got a email from somebody. She said she was in love with a button. She was like, I couldn't believe it.
I can see
She
it.
was in love with a button.
It's great.
She
Yeah,
was.
I
She
mean,
was
there's the intimacy with everything. I mean,
because everything is you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You see it that way and you feel it.
I talk to people and I say, you could look at this tree and it's so beautiful, and then I look at this rock and it's so beautiful, and I look at this, you know, slice of concrete and it's so beautiful. It's not just the things that are conventionally beautiful that you sort of appreciate. Look at the texture in this sidewalk here. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's pretty awesome.
Manifested here, through thought and billions of years of, and all this stuff, and it just is.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? Oh, well, I just kind of exist in a state of causeless joy. What about you?
You get it. Oh, but what do you mean causeless joy? I thought joy had to be earned. Like, don't you have to like earn your joy and strive and work hard to be joyful? Don't you have to have $1 million in the bank? Don't you have to have like the perfect, girlfriend? Don't you have to have the big house and the boat to make you happy? What do you mean causeless joy?
It's amazing how much effort we spend
I
trying to get
know.
there, trying to get to the thing that we think is going to make us happy, and then we get there, and it's either this brief moment that you're just
Ah, I made it, right?
paranoid about losing, or you never even get there at all, and it's never enough. It's never satisfying.
Because its happiness is within, not without, and realizing what you truly are, and all that effort and striving. was just to realize to just stop. And then when you stop, it's like, I was whole and complete and abundant
Yeah, yeah,
already the whole time. Like, and I just had this belief that I had to earn it and I had to strive and put forth all this effort to get it. And it was just not true. And I had to learn that experience. I learned that experience, you know.
yeah, yeah,
It'd be cool if someone could listen to us and they can just not have to go through that. Or maybe, you know, maybe there's some good that does come out of it because maybe it's almost like you have to. I wish everybody could see what it's like to have all those things and then realize, wait, that's not happiness, you know?
yeah. It just don't matter.
Yeah.
You
Causeless
know,
joy.
I'm not going to live in a cave or anything. I'm happy
No.
with, you know,
Engage with
you
life.
know,
Engage with life. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
happy with the, you know, I'm not going to be an ascetic. I'm happy, you know, making my coffee in the morning and having a nice
Yeah.
warm house to live in. But
It's more like a like an
what?
appreciation in the everyday now, you know. It's like
Yeah,
maybe we took
yeah.
that for granted before, but now it's like the everyday life's cool, man. Like I'm enjoying my cup of coffee, take my
Yeah.
time getting up, you know, look at
I don't
things
need the bigger
differently.
house. I don't need the bigger
Simple.
car.
Yeah.
You know.
If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just
Yeah, yeah,
relaxing.
exactly.
I'm not going to start. If it comes, I'm not going to prevent it. If hey, if it wants to come, you know.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. You know.
Like we welcome whatever wants to come, but we don't need it. I mean, it'd be nice and fun. Some things are fun, you know. I like going on a trip. It's
Oh
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Just, you
Yeah.
know,
No, I know. I'm just saying in general for people
for me,
listening.
for
Yeah.
me personally, I've always been kind of like I'm just satisfied. I think the thing that I was, you know, previously least satisfied with was just myself,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
I never felt like I needed to strive to acquire, but I certainly felt like I needed to strive to um, be something, to become something.
Yeah. When you already
That
are.
that was never, you know, and it was never going to get there anyway. It was
No,
just
because you're already
the
there.
mind. It was just the mind driving you forward,
Yeah.
trying to get more and more, you know, validation of the self. I guess for me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know,
That's awesome. You can see that now. So cool.
yeah, and it's sort of it's been a huge relief
Yeah. It's so
to
relaxing to know that, that knowing that you have brings about such a peace. It's like that peace that surpasses all understanding is what you have now.
yes, 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 yes.
It's beautiful, man. Happy for
Say
you.
yes to the being. Yeah, thank you. I think it's something that, you know, I want to believe it's attainable for everyone. I want to believe that, you know, it's not something that's just an accident or something
Mhm.
that takes a lot of struggle or a specific kind of mind. And, you know, I want other people to share it, you know?
Yeah, it's good to share. It feels good to share it. It's like, isn't that what love is? Love is expressing
Yeah.
and sharing, you know. It's almost like something nice happened to you know, that was profound, that you felt
Yes.
was profound. It's like just like the natural thing to want to share that, right? I mean, why keep it
Yeah.
to yourself? Like, I
You
mean,
run
love
around
is
and
like
say, "Ah,
love everything around. It's like I want everything in my field of consciousness, of beingness. I want it all to feel love. I want it all to be abundant. I want it all to be joyful. You know, I want it all to be that way.
yeah,
I want to share that peace with everybody. And the irony is though, is just when they, like you said, when you just stop all the striving and effort and you relax into what is, it reveals itself, and there's the peace.
yeah,
That's how simple it is for everybody. If they would just stop and just relax and
yeah,
appreciate what is, it'll reveal it automatically. Like, this is me. This is it. This is paradise right here.
yeah, exactly. There's nothing to attain.
You've already attained it.
You know, we say the word attain because it's, you know, it's hard to communicate really in
Yeah.
other ways without, you know, bending backwards to try to find the right words. But there really is nothing to attain. It's just there the whole
It
time.
already is. Yeah, it's already the
We've just
case.
been, yeah, yeah. We just have
And
blinders
just
on,
we're
I guess.
believing the mind telling us that it's not. It's just like that's why I said if you
Yeah.
subtract the beliefs and you subtract the thoughts, what's left reveals itself as the causeless peace.
Yes. Yes. So let's get the word out, man.
Yeah,
Keep putting the word out, Rob.
of course. You too. Express, keep expressing, and let me know how I can support you through whatever. You know, I'm here. I'd love to be a resource for mass consciousness as it wakes up. to equip it to express. Uh, that's what I'm here for.
Much appreciated, man. It was very good having a chat with you today.
Yes.
I hope you have a very great, peaceful, joyous Sunday.
You too, my brother. Much peace, much love to
Right.
you.
Yeah,
This
it's been great, man.
was awesome.
Have a good day.
Yeah, and everyone else out there, open invitation. If you want to contact, my email will be in the description. Email me. I'll be happy to talk to anyone. And, maybe Jared gives me his email. I don't know. Somebody resonates. You open for that?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Someone
sure.
resonates. I'll send them your way. Yeah. All right. Bye,
Sounds great,
everybody.
man. Thank you.